We are coming to the end of October and the end of my birthday month, and today I'm going to share some of the book gifts that I was so lucky to receive this month. Hello book friends, I'm Jen and welcome to my reading life and welcome to my birthday book haul video. I've got my birthday tiara on. I'm not sure I'm going to wear this the whole video. It doesn't really fit that well, but it does do this. Woo. So I thought that was kind of fun. Anyway, I wanted to share the big stack of books I have here that I received for my birthday. Some of them were gifts from family and friends. Some of them I purchased with a very lovely gift card that I received for my birthday. And then a few of these are just books that I've received recently. They weren't necessarily for my birthday, but I'm going to consider them birthday haul books because it's my birthday month and I can. So why don't you grab your favorite hot beverage of choice and we'll dive into all of the good stuff. Okay, I think the tiara needs to come off because but so cute. Let the fun begin. I think I'll start with two books that I received from some lovely subscribers to my channel, so generously sent me some books. And the first one is from Jacqueline, and she sent me some books not very long ago, and then this book showed up in the mail as well, and that is Shine On, Bright and Dangerous Object by Lori Colwin. And I do not have this edition, and I am so excited to have it in my collection. So thank you, Jacqueline, for sending this to me for my birthday. She put, happy birthday, wanted to help you celebrate all month long by adding to your Lori Colwin collection. Notice this one is set in Maine, my home state. Oh, fantastic. I am very much looking forward to rereading this. I'm actually going to be buddy reading and rereading for me Lori Colwin books in the upcoming months. So I will dive into this newest edition that's on my shelf. I'm very excited. The next book that I received was from my subscriber, Eileen. Thank you, Eileen, so much. Not only did she send me this book, but she also made this really fun bookmark. It's got all kinds of little bookish charms on it, and it's sort of wire, so you can kind of bend it to fit in the book as you need it. And this book is The Transatlantic Book Club by Felicity Hayes McCoy, and I believe this is set in Ireland. And it says, eager to cheer up her recently widowed gran, Cassie Fitzgerald, visiting from Canada, persuades Lisbeg Library to set up a Skype book club linking readers on Ireland's Finferrin Peninsula with the U.S. town of Resolve, home to generations of Finferrin emigrants. But when the club decides to read a detective novel, old conflicts on both sides of the ocean are exposed and hidden love affairs come to light. As secrets emerge, Cassie fears she may have done more harm than good. Will the truths she uncovers about her Granny Pat's marriage affect her own hopes of finding love? Is Pat, who's still struggling with the death of her husband, about to fall out with her oldest friend Mary? Or could the book club itself hold the key to a triumphant transatlantic happy ending? So yes, this is really lovely. And I think Eileen said her grandparents come from this place, this Finferrin Peninsula in Ireland. So what a lovely book for her to read about for sure. So thank you, Eileen. I'm very much looking forward to diving into this one. The next two books were gifts from some of my in real life friends. And the first one, this wasn't really a birthday gift, but I saw my best friend recently, and she is a school librarian, and she found this book, which she was culling from her collection, but she knows how much I love this book, both as a child, as an adult, so she saved me this very vintagey edition of From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler by E.L. Konigsberg, and I love this vintage library. Somebody put stickers on the front cover, but it still has the library card inside of it, and she also made me a cute little like library card bookmark to have in it as well. So and so you can see all the kids who checked the book out, and it looks like, let's see, it doesn't say. Oh yeah, so it starts in October 7th of 1969. So that's the first time, at least according to this card, that the book was checked out. And I just love that. I love the little history that books have behind them. And so I'm excited to have this edition on my shelf. And then the next book, actually, I'm going to need some advice from all of you on this one because this was gifted to me by a friend and our reading tastes don't totally align. They align in some ways, but not in others. And this is a book I'm familiar with. I mean, I've seen it making the rounds on BookTube and Bookstagram over the years, but I'm not 100% sure it's a book for me. And that is Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate. And my understanding is that this was about some children who were basically, I think, taken from their homes and then put up for adoption, even though they had families. So they were sort of stolen from their original families. And this is, that was in Tennessee in 1939. Yeah, they're thrown into the Tennessee Children's Home Society orphanage. Oh, so maybe they don't get adopted out. They just have to stay in this orphanage. So I struggle a lot with books where children are being mistreated or harmed in some way. And I'm afraid this is going to be too much for my sensitive heart. So if anyone has read this, can you tell me if you think this is something I'll be okay with? Or if not, I think I might just pass this one along because it was so sweet of her to gift this to me, but I'm not sure it's for me. That's so hard to say when you have a friend who gives you a book and they really love the book, but you just don't think it's for you. So there we have it. The next few books were gifted to me by my husband and my son for my birthday, and these were all off of my wish list. The first book is The Saturdays by Elizabeth Enright. Now, I've actually read The Saturdays, but it has been a very, very long time. I know I enjoyed it, but when I read Gone Away Lake this summer, everybody was telling me I need to read the Melody Quartet, and this is the first book in that series. So I want to collect them all, so I figured I should start here, and I will reread this one and then work my way through the quartet. So I'm excited to revisit the Melodies family because I don't remember that much about them. But see, they live in New York City, and there's 13-year-old Mona, 12-year-old Rush, 10-and-a-half-year-old Randy, and thoughtful Oliver. It says they're tired of wasting Saturdays doing nothing but wishing for larger allowances. The four Melodies jump at Randy's idea to start the Independent Saturday Afternoon Adventure Club. If they pool their resources and take turns spending the whole amount, they can each have at least one memorable Saturday afternoon of their own. Before long, ISIC, which is the abbreviation of their club, is in operation, and every Saturday is definitely one to remember. So very excited to get to this one. And then next, I was so excited to get this, and I am going to read this next year, probably for Victober, and that is Lady Audley's Secret by Mary Elizabeth Braddon. I haven't read any Mary Elizabeth Braddon yet, but I've been really wanting to. I've heard nothing but good things about this book, and I'm excited to get to it. It says, when beautiful young Lucy Graham accepts the hand of Sir Michael Audley, her fortune and her future look secure, but Lady Audley's past is shrouded in mystery, and to Sir Michael's nephew Robert, she is not all that she seems. When his good friend George Talboys suddenly disappears, Robert is determined to find him and to unearth the truth. His quest reveals a tangled story of lies and deception, crime and intrigue, whose sensational twists turn the conventional picture of Victorian womanhood on its head. Can Robert's darkest suspicions really be true? Dun, dun, dun. So yes, I cannot wait to get this, and I love these Oxford World Classic editions. They're so lovely. I need some tea. I'm getting over a little bit of a cold, so if my voice is a little raspy today, that is why. And then the last book from my family is a coffee table book, and that is The Cottage Garden by Klaus Dalby. I don't even remember how I found this book or where I heard about it, but so, so beautiful. It has just gorgeous pictures of gardens, and we are in desperate need of redoing our backyard. So I'm hoping that this is going to give me a little inspiration. And hopefully that'll be a project we're working on next year, but I'm very excited to just sit with a cup of tea and browse through the pictures and see what I fall in love with. I'm not the greatest gardener. I have a very brown thumb, but I'm trying to learn. The next book was a delightful surprise. I won a Goodreads giveaway, and it's a book that I absolutely want to read. I'd had it pre-ordered, but then I canceled it when I won this advanced reader copy of the book, and that is The Grey Wolf by Louise Penny. So excited to go back to Three Pines and to dive into the newest Inspector Gamache novel and find out what's happening in this one. It says, in the silence, something is stirring. Relentless phone calls interrupt the peace of a warm August morning in Three Pines. Though the tiny Quebec village is impossible to find on any map, someone has managed to track down Armand Gamache, head of homicide at the Sûreté, as he sits with his wife in their back garden. Reine-Marie watches with increasing unease as her husband refuses to pick up, though he clearly knows who is on the other end. When he finally answers, his rage shatters the calm of their quiet Sunday morning. Says, a missing coat, an intruder alarm, a note for Gamache reading "This might interest you," a puzzling scrap of paper with a mysterious list, and then a murder. All propel Chief Inspector Gamache and his team toward a terrible realization. Something much more sinister than any murder or any one case is fast approaching. Sounds so good. I have a couple of other books I'm working on right now, but as soon as I finish them or make some good headway into them, I am diving into this because I cannot wait. And the release date for this is, I think The Grey Wolf releases on, I want to say October 26th. I'll put that here on the screen, the exact date that it releases, but it's coming very, very soon. So I'm hoping to get to this so that I can post my reviews of it, my thoughts, and so excited. Oh, I just love Three Pines. The last stack of books that I have to share is one that I purchased because I was so generously gifted a gift card for my birthday, and what better than to spend it all on books? So that is what I did. So I'm just going to go through these, and the first book that I purchased was Oh, the Brave Music by Dorothy Evelyn Smith. This is part of the British Library Women Writers series, and I think I first heard about this book on the Tier Books podcast, which I've mentioned in the past, and I will link in the description box below if you want to check out the episode talking about this book. It says, I guess it's Ruan Ashley looks back on her childhood in a coming-of-age novel set before the First World War. Ruan is an intelligent and imaginative child who gradually comes to understand the nuances of the adult world around her as she moves from the manse under the strict rule of her father to Cobbetts, her mother's ancestral home, and back to the moor above the town where she was born. Her life is shaped by tragedy, but also the warmth of enduring friendships, particularly with David, who shares her love of the wild expanse and colors of the moor. Sounds so wonderful, and I am very much looking forward to reading this. And then the next book that I purchased, because you all know how I love books about ballet, is A Company of Swans by Eva Ibbotson. So many of you recommended this book to me. It has been actually on my TBR want to read list for quite a while, so I'm excited to now have it in my possession. And it says, in the gray scholarly world of Cambridge in 1912, Harriet Morton has lived her whole life under the strict rule of her widowed father and miserly aunt. When she is offered the opportunity to dance with a corps de ballet on a tour of the Amazon, she steals away on a boat bound for Manaus? I do not know how to say that. On arrival, Harriet meets the captivating British aristocrat Rom Verney. Swept up in the exhilarating life of Brazil and the glorious worlds of romance and ballet, how can Harriet keep her newfound freedom when the life she left behind is catching up with her? Sounds so good. So I'm very excited to read that as well. And then the next, this is so funny. I bought this edition because the cover of it was so beautiful, but it's so tiny. And that is A Month in the Country by J.L. Carr. I really do love this cover, but it is such a small little book, and I'm definitely going to have to get my reading glasses out to read this one. So this is just a slim little novella. I mean, everybody raves about this book, so I'm super looking forward to it. It says, one summer, just after the Great War, Tom Birkin, a demobbed soldier, arrives in the village of Goodby. He has been invited to uncover and restore a medieval wall painting in the local church. At the same time, Charles Moon, a fellow damaged survivor of the war, has been asked to locate the grave of a village ancestor. As these two outsiders go about their work of recovery, they form a bond, but they also stir up long dormant passions within the village. What Birkin discovers here will stay with him for the rest of his life. So I've heard it's just really, the writing is beautiful and very evocative, and I am excited. And then next is, because you know I'm collecting all of the Dean Street Press Furrowed Middlebrow editions. This is Stella Gibbons' The Woods in Winter. And yes, I'm going to read this winter for sure. This is about Ivy Gover, a curmudgeonly middle-aged charwoman with some slightly witchy talents, inherits a rural cottage in Buckinghamshire and takes up residence near the tiny village of Little Warby. Having settled in with a rescued dog and a pet pigeon, she manages, despite her antisocial instincts, to have surprising effects on her new neighbors, including Angela Mordaunt, a spinster still mourning her dead beau, Coral and Pearl Carteret, ditzy sisters who have just opened a tea shop, excuse me, the local vicar and wealthy Lord Gowerville, whose devotion she earns by healing his beloved dog. But her biggest challenge will likely be the 12-year-old runaway who shows up at her door. Sounds just lovely. And as always, these covers are just so, so beautiful. And then the next book that I purchased was Jane's Country Year by Malcolm Saville. And this is in the handheld press edition. I really love these editions. I have a couple of them and I'm going to slowly collect more of them as well. So this is a classic novel from 1946 about 11-year-old Jane's discovery of nature and country life during a year spent convalescing on her uncle's farm after having been dangerously ill in post-war London. Moor End Farm is based on a farm in Wheathamstead, Herts, where Saville had lived. Okay, that was a mouthful, that village name. Anyway, I think I first heard about this book on Miranda Mills's channel. She is such a wonderful resource for under the radar British novels and books in general. She is just, she's so good at cultivating just wonderful books. And I have added so many lovely reads to my TBR because of her. So if you aren't watching Miranda's videos or following her on Instagram or her blog, I'll have all of her information linked down below because she is so, so lovely. But excited for this one. And then this last book, I've already shared this. I shared it in my Jane Austen January video, but I bought myself the painted edition of Persuasion by Jane Austen. These books, they're so gorgeous. And they come with this little vellum slip sheet over the top. And then you can see it's got gold on the spine and the back, and then the quote on the back is, "When pain is over, the remembrance of it often becomes a pleasure." And then it has a ribbon bookmark included in it, and it's just, they're so beautiful. And there are like sort of these almost like, not watercolors, but just these lovely paintings inside, or drawings inside, and then there's usually a quote on the facing page. So yes, very much looking forward to just, even if I don't know that I'm going to read from this edition for January, just because it's so beautiful and I don't want to get it dirty. And I like to eat while I read, or drink tea, and I don't want to spill on it. Also, my cats like to sit on my lap while I read, and I have a drooler, so I don't want cat drool on my beautiful book. But I'll definitely be looking through it, and I want to read all the different little quotes that they pulled out on those pages where they've got the drawings. So excited to have that in my collection. I actually ordered one other book, but it hasn't arrived yet because I believe it's coming from England. So when it arrives, I may add it to my November book haul if I have one. I'm trying to rein in the book buying. I have decided I am going to give myself a little bit of a book buying challenge next year so that I can try to do some more reading off of my own shelves. But I'm going to share more about that in an upcoming video, so stay tuned. Anyway, that is my birthday haul. I feel so very blessed by the generosity of so many people who gifted me books, and for the lovely gift card that allowed me to purchase some books to add to my shelves. Things that I really, really wanted. That is one thing that I have been thinking a lot about recently, is making sure that the books I'm adding to my shelves are books that I really want to have copies of, books I think are going to be ones I want to keep on my shelves, and trying to think more about, just utilizing the library for those books that I want to read, but I don't necessarily think they're going to be ones that I want to keep forever. So, yeah, that's just part of what's going on in my mind in terms of my own personal library of books. So that is it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you'd give it a like and hit that subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed. And I'd love to chat with you in the comments. Have you read any of these books that have just come into my home library? Anything that you're particularly excited about to see me read and review? Let's chat all things books in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back with another video very soon. Bye.